Alrighty, hello and welcome to TV Chef Fantasy League. I'm your host and commissioner, Sierra Cato, here with my co-host, Mike Cabalon.
Coming to you straight from my disgusting office.
Oh, yours looks nice and tidy. Mine's disgusting, but we wear it with a badge of honor, I believe.
We do?
It means that it's been lived in.
Okay,
You
yes.
know,
A
it's a
messy room is a sign of a life well lived.
exactly.
Yes, we are coming to you
Yeah.
remotely. Yeah.
It's been a
Uh,
minute since we've gone remote, but there's a little, we're just being extra safe. Mike's getting married soon, and there's a little bit of potentially a positive COVID test in this larger circle of people who might use the studio. So we're being
this
extra
just,
safe.
yeah, yeah. Can you imagine doing anything that would put you at risk of getting sick 2 weeks before your wedding?
Right.
It's
Not sustainable.
no, not at all.
Can't be doing that. Plus, we also don't have Iffy today.
We don't have
Sorry.
Iffy. We're recording
He's
this
been
over
filming.
a busy Father's Day weekend for him. He was like out of town, then he was in town, then he was filming. He had a
He's filming all
thing.
day. Yeah. So, he's in high demand. We're here to bring you all the MasterChef goodness without
Look,
him.
yeah, you're not
Oh
even
my
gonna
God.
miss him, okay? We too can do bad Boston accents
Oh, yeah, you
and
bet.
talk about weird sex stuff. We can do that.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Known for that. Known for that. Um,
Notoriously.
absolutely. Val pointed out this is kind of like a 1 year mark for our podcast joining Maximum Fun
That's right.
because she remembers that, yeah, I mean, basically, MasterChef was when we moved over.
Wow.
And it's been just a joy ever since. It's flown by because we've been
What a
having so much
year it's
fun.
been, truly. So much has changed, and
True,
yet so much has
truly.
remained the same.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's both sides. You get all the fun at maximum fun. That's what they say, right?
That's the
Um
slogan. We have it on shirts.
so yeah, so we're back in MasterChef. Before we get into the specific episode, Mike, how do you feel being back here in this zone of
Um,
chefing?
it feels like a warm blanket. It okay. I talked about this last week during the draft. One of the only things that feels weird to me is that the set is backwards, and Val did
Right.
some intrepid detective work this week, and we found out why the set is backwards, which is that the answer is going to be a bummer. No one's going to like this.
Well, for some people it might be exciting.
I get if you're
In a
Australian,
certain
sure.
portion of the world, yeah.
This is the MasterChef Australia set. So this is I don't know if it's the first season, but they shot the whole thing in Australia. They just uh,
In
uh,
Melbourne. They went
in
to Melbourne.
oh, good
I
Australian
think
accent.
I try. I know that you're not supposed to say Melbourne, and I know it's
Right.
Melbourne. Melbourne.
Melbourne. Yeah.
Melbourne. But yes, it is there. And I think we've discussed the fact that a lot of Los Angeles production has moved out of Los Angeles. This
Yeah,
used to
that's
be
the
shot in
bummer
Los
part.
Angeles. Yeah,
Yeah.
so all the crew was probably fired. I mean, yes, Val talk about sleuthin went into this now deleted Reddit comment. Yeah, yeah. Okay, she just linked in the chat, but it's quite a gold comment you found here, Val. Yeah, that somebody said I worked on MasterChef. Rob Wade at okay, this is we're naming names. I'm reading from this screenshot, so nobody come for me. But demanded it be moved to Australia to save money. It left 200 people in LA out of work, many of whom have worked on it for a
Oh,
decade or longer. Oh no, this was after years of lowered budgets. Blah blah blah. Yeah, so basically this is a thing, and I've discussed the floor. I believe I don't know on air or
yes.
off air, but
Yeah,
they
we have.
definitely
They
film
shoot in
in,
Ireland.
yeah, Dublin, and so it's cheaper somehow to fly all those contestants who are based in the US somewhere all the way to Dublin and now all the way to Australia than it is to film here.
What a
There are
huge,
things in
huge
the
bummer.
works. Some tax breaks might be coming our way, California. I've signed some petitions myself, but you never
So
know.
Sierra's on it. Don't worry, 200
Yeah,
people
I
laid off from
personally,
MasterChef America. Sierra's
mhm,
on it. She signed a
yeah,
petition.
Gavin Newsom, he's not busy or anything. He's going to definitely do something about
Nothing
this
else
Master
happening
Chef
in
thing.
California right now. No
No.
bigger fires to put out, literally or
No.
figuratively.
Yeah. So that's good. So don't worry. Master Chef will be flipped mirror, the mirror image will be back again next year, I'm sure. But for now, we're in
Right.
Melbourne.
But yes, so all this to say that that's the only thing that feels weird. I will say I feel like I've been on a slightly bigger Gordon Ramsay kick because it also this show launched alongside Gordon Ramsay's Secret Service, which we've talked about
Yes.
off air, but it's been a lot of fun to watch.
Cool.
Yeah,
I still haven't checked it out, but I know you said it's different than Kitchen Nightmares
yes,
enough.
because the hook, arguably, with this one was that whenever he does Kitchen Nightmares, they kind of know he's coming, so they're like, "We're gonna put
Right.
on our best selves." And
Mhm.
this one is a bit more of a sneak attack. They think they're on some other unrelated restaurant renovation show, and then he gets
Right.
to spy on them for a couple days. He literally like breaks in at the beginning of the episode and like leaves cameras and like looks at their kitchen, and then just
Mm,
watches for like a couple days before he walks in and goes like, "Shut down the whole restaurant. This is disgusting. Let's turn
damn.
this ship around." And it's a lot of
Cool.
fun.
I mean, he's quite prolific. I listened to his episode of Smartless. I think he was on doing
Ugh.
press and all
Did we
that.
talk about this on the air?
Oh, no, maybe not, because I think this was recent that I
I
listened.
hated that episode. Okay, you go first.
Ooh, I mean, honestly, I was impressed with his story. I don't think I really knew Gordon Ramsay's full story and how, he's kind of got this
Grew up
crazy
poor.
work ethic. Yeah,
Yeah,
and he was going to be a footballer and then he got injured and all that. So I was kind of that part was fascinating to me. I could tell that he was obviously really good at doing this for many years, just like talking about his story and then transferring it into like how he basically has like 50,000 shows on the air and is
yeah.
single-handedly upholding Fox. So I found that interesting. Wait, but I honestly didn't really have much of an opinion. I just thought it was like another
Oh,
press interview.
it's look, I'm speaking as a fan of Smartless. I like
Mm-hmm.
Smartless. Um, the appeal of Smartless is that it is so not a deep dive. It is really
Oh,
just like a
sure.
breezy, shooting the shit kind of show. And so you're not going to get any information. But they were like, when they interview like someone in Hollywood, there's a common language. And
Yeah,
because they were so like not in the loop about restaurant stuff, it was just the kind
sure.
of they were asking, like, oh, so what is a Michelin star? Oh, it is the tire company? You know what I
Right,
mean? It's
right,
like the
right.
kinds of questions where it's like, Google it. Don't ask
They do
Gordon
that a
Ramsay.
lot, I would say.
That's like
Yeah.
not the thing I would ask Gordon Ramsay. You know what I mean? Or like,
No.
so Gordon, what would you say is the dish that you make the best? And he's like beef Wellington. They're like, oh, what is that? Is that steak wrapped in
Right.
puff
Yeah, they
pastry? And I'm
hadn't
just
eaten
like,
that. That's
this
true.
is infuriating. I feel like I'm listening in on like Gordon Ramsay who went to like, his cousin's wedding or something, and like someone's
Oh
uncle
no.
came up and was like, ah, so you cook. You know what I mean? I'm
Oh
like,
boy. Yes,
I
I
don't really
see.
want to listen to this interview.
Occasionally, yeah, you will get those episodes with them. I think where it'll be like a little bit of the oh, they don't know this category that's showing,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
especially the ones who it's not their guest who they invited or whatever. So pretty funny. But yes, I did notice that. And they were also at some point like, oh no, never really learned to cook. And it's like, well,
Yeah.
I hate to break it to you, but that's his whole thing.
I don't know. There's like a few moments, like when
Sure.
when they start talking to him like a human being and not like the ambassador of all that is culinary, then I'm like, that's interesting stuff. But
Right.
for the
Yeah.
most part, like the first like 20 minutes, just throw it all away. And then the rest of the episode, you can cherry pick individual stories that are interesting. Everything else, I'm just like, why are we asking Gordon Ramsay to explain the Michelin guide? You know?
Right, right. Fair enough. That makes a lot of sense. And he explained it to all the Smartless listeners out there who don't know. But let's get into this episode. It's the duos, as we know, dynamic duos. Dinner Party Dash is the title. So they're basically doing like their best dinner party dishes. We learn a little
There
bit about their definition of what a dinner party is and
It's
who
just now hitting
actually
me
cooks
how
for it.
alliterative this is. MasterChef Dynamic Duos Dinner Party Dash.
Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah, say it 5 times fast. Yeah, that's a lot
Um,
of a lot of D's in there.
but
Um,
to what you were saying, it's like it did feel like everyone sort of like very loosely interpreted what a dinner party is.
yeah, yeah. It
Some
was
people
hard
are
for me.
like, it's a backyard barbecue. Some people are
Right,
like,
right.
it's when you
Oh,
sit around a table and listen to jazz and drink wine,
yeah, yeah. Very, very wide definition. And I kind of get into like how we'll discuss. We'll discuss. But
We'll discuss.
let's see. So we're getting in here. Basically, just verbatim, the challenge is make a dish inspired by a dinner party you would throw at home. Fair enough. They get 60 minutes. We kind of hear a little bit about each of them. We know, actually, one thing that I noticed, Azu and Javier, who are the divorced couple, Javier's remarried. So I kind of thought like,
Oh,
oh,
I
are they
missed
going
that
to do
detail.
something? Yeah, yeah. So he's remarried, and she like is
Oh,
still a part of the family. Whatever. They all like
right,
hang
right,
out
right.
as a giant modern family, as
It's a
she
Wayne
described it.
Brady situation. You know what I'm talking
Yeah,
about?
yeah, we love
Yeah,
it. Yeah, yeah. I don't know if she's in like the house, like
sure.
the guest house, but essentially, emotionally, it's a Wayne Brady situation. Google it if you don't know, but yeah, very modern, for the kids, forward thinking way of living. We love it.
Yes.
But yeah, as a result, I believed that, oh, maybe they'll like fall back in love and that'll be their whole shtick, but no,
No, no.
that would tear up another marriage, which we can't have.
Yes. I mean, it would make for good TV, but
Fair.
I
Yeah.
don't think this is the show for it.
Sure. Yeah. That would be maybe more Bravo,
Oh,
honestly.
okay. I'll say this about this last week's episode of Gordon Ramsay's Secret Service, the sister
Oh,
show to this season of MasterChef, is there. My fiance and I were watching it, and we were like, "Oh, this particular episode kind of feels like three different shows in one. One is like the cooking restaurant renovation show. One is so like every episode, there's like a restaurant owner and they have like a problem. It's like he's an old man, he won't give up control, or whatever. This one was like this woman was a hoarder in a way where it was like,
no.
oh, this should be a TLC like hoarders episode.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then the third one was they were also offhandedly like, also, this restaurant is haunted. Look, we got this footage of things flying
Oh,
off the shelves.
gosh.
Anyway, moving on. And I'm like, that could be its own whole
Yeah.
episode. Over on the History Channel, they would go gaga for a restaurant that is haunted. That would power a whole season of television.
Oh, for sure. They've been running. Yeah, they got Ancient Aliens just on rotate there. So they got to
Yeah.
populate something. But yeah, I do think that maybe they're trying to figure out what they are. They're like, ooh, everybody really liked the ghost episode. Like maybe we should lean more into the supernatural. Or like, ooh, actually, Hoarders is
Yeah.
back. That is tough.
So
Yeah. At what
all
point
this
does
to
it cross?
say, if Javier's now wife came on this turned into a Jerry Springer episode,
Sure.
so be it. We got to pump up the ratings.
I
We
mean,
got to
yeah,
save
that
the
might
jobs in
be.
LA.
Yeah, if that hits, then it's coming back to LA. That's what
Yeah.
happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, interesting. I think might be time for MasterChef to get a little refresher and get into the home wrecking biz. Um, but let's see. Oh, Val pointed out that a lot of even two of the duos were already throwing out the word rustic, and she got to the rustic counter is up to 3 in this episode. They say rustic, which I didn't even notice, Val. I think that was
Yeah, I
very
didn't either, but that's
that
incredible.
is a funny word that for sure would come up here.
I feel like,
We yeah.
especially in the context of this show, sometimes when they say rustic, what they mean is shitty looking. Do you know what I mean? They're
Right. It's
like,
a
you
little
didn't
rough around
plate
the
it nicely. It's
edges.
rustic. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because we're trying to pretend like we're from a time when they didn't know how to plate.
Yeah.
That feels like a good excuse. We know, let's see, Kayla and Ryan Kate, who are the MasterChef junior grads,
Hmm.
they are the ones who call for a medic because Kayla gets her whole thumb and kind of also her other finger like tip
Completely
cut off.
gone. Yeah, she had to go
Yeah,
get
just
stitches.
chopped it off. Yeah, yeah, really. And then we flash back to the fact that she did it as a junior, which is kind of sad. You
Right.
kind of are like, oh, I
Yeah.
understand, like not wanting to repeat the mistake that might have been traumatic as a child.
Yeah. I will
But
say
yeah,
she did handle it like a professional chef. Sometimes you
sure.
watch these kinds of shows and people are like, I can't go on. And she was more annoyed than anything. She was just like, I can't believe I did this. This is so
Right.
stupid of me. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, yeah. She was apologizing to Ryan Kate, like, oh, you have to do all the work now. That was kind of her
Right.
main
Yeah.
concern. But I did, and then somebody else kind of almost cut themselves. It does feel like it's just the jitters. They're
Yeah.
saying this one's even more nerve-wracking than the audition, and they're like shaking and handling these new knives that they probably, who knows how knives work over in Australia. So
They're
it's gonna be,
backwards.
yeah,
They go the
they're
other
going the
way.
wrong way. Exactly. They're upside down. So, who knows? I'm sure plenty ripe for lots of injury. So here's where things I might get into controversial territory with the point
Oh,
system.
here we go. Okay.
So because we have that rule in MasterChef now, where if you say I cook something all the time and then you end up on
Right.
top, you get a point. And I kind of think that all three of the people on top should either get a point or not get a point because they basically all said they cooked this dish, but they kind of said it in a way that was just like nodding at Gordon Ramsay. I'll describe each instance.
Okay. Okay.
So for Zach and Michelle, they talk about, oh yeah, we host dinner parties all the time. It used to be before a kid, we had like a bunch of people come over. Now it's after. And then he's like, do you cook this dish? And they're like, mm-hmm. And then so that one's a little loose. Then
Okay.
for Joel and Adam, the
Uh-huh.
Southern brothers, right? They say welcome to Taco Tuesday. Like we cook tacos, blah, blah, blah. So to me, I'm like, yeah, I guess so. They cook tacos all the time. They don't
Okay,
normally make the
okay.
tortillas as it is. So,
Sure.
okay, that feels right. They're
Okay.
also on top, right? And then finally, I think a little bit clearer is Yvonne and Tina. They say every Vietnamese family's dinner party menu like has this
That's
dish.
right.
And
Okay,
so
yeah.
then it's like, well, they're Vietnamese, so I guess that means they do, right?
Okay,
And I just, yeah,
I'll agree with you. I think all of those qualify as we make this all the time, and since they landed in the top, that should be plus ones or plus halves all around, whatever that point
yeah,
value
yeah,
is.
plus ones all around. Okay, great. So that's what
Okay.
I went for. I think because also, especially with some of them, it's like, I'm guessing that is the case. Like, I don't know why they would pick something that they don't do all the time at their dinner party if they claim to be doing dinner parties.
Right.
And then if they're lying, it's like, well, I can't prevent people from lying. I don't
You
know. Yeah.
mentioned Adam and Joel as the Southern Brothers, which is what I called them when I drafted them. And I did remember
Yes.
one thing I wanted to bring up. So one of our pots and pans wrote in on
Oh, nice.
Instagram, and I,
Good.
I almost don't want to say their name because if this ever makes its way back to Adam and Joel, it's not even a negative thing. But
Okay. Okay.
I just want to protect this person. So this pot and pan
Oh
wrote in,
gosh. Okay.
and I'm going to read this verbatim.
Uh,
I don't know Adam, but Joel and I were friends in school. He was not at
whoa.
January 6th, and Joel, in fact, campaigned for John Ossoff here in Georgia. He was in a campaign
Oh.
ad and everything.
Oh my
So
goodness.
they're good. They're
Right. About as
Democrats.
opposite as it can be. I suppose,
Yeah, yeah,
being in
yeah.
a campaign ad, that's quite
Yes.
political.
And also not knowing anything about John Ossoff, I had to look him up. He is a
Right.
Democrat,
Right.
a
Yes.
senator, one of the youngest senators ever.
Yes. Yes.
Great, thumbs up all around. You know what? Now I'm so happy I drafted Adam and Joel because not only do I think they're going to win, but now I don't have to have that on my conscience that they're bad people.
Right. Right. Blue dots. Blue dots. We love them.
Blue dots.
Yeah, yeah, and we assume that who was the one who was on who he doesn't know about Adam. We assume
We
they're
don't know anything
they're
about Adam.
yeah, we assume they're on the same page because they're
Yes.
a dynamic duo.
Well, they were raised by the same family, which,
Sure, which
sometimes
yeah,
siblings have differing views, but it seems like they get along. I can't imagine that in the year 2025 they have opposite political views and are also still like, let's
and
go on
are
a cooking show together and be friendly brothers.
yeah, that would be challenging. They'd have to have a
Yeah.
few conversations before. So yeah, okay, great. I'm glad we got the inside scoop on Adam.
Yeah.
I mean, what an inside scoop. First of all, thank you.
Thank
It
you.
really gives us a little more yeah, reality, like insight into these real people, and we appreciate that. And yeah, of course, we had to question the January 6th of it all, but
Because
I'm
they
glad we
just
did.
look, they have to
Mhm.
know we've talked about this before. When you go on any form of reality show, we try and recognize that these are real people, but also if you're that contestant, you have to know to some degree, you have to have some level of like self-awareness, right? And if I am like a 6'4" white dude from Georgia, I just got to go into every situation knowing what
Yeah,
people are probably assuming about me. Do you know what I mean?
true, true. Yeah, it's comes with the territory now. I think everybody has to kind of size you up.
We all have
I
that
get
baggage.
sized up all the time, right? So I do think, and most of the time they're right. No, but I
What do you
think
think is
that
yours? You walk into a room, what do you think people are thinking?
well, I did one of those. Did we discuss this? Like, when you do an acting class and then they're like, sit in this chair, and then everybody in the acting class will like guess who you are. It's because you
Whoa.
can get your understanding of like your first impression when you walk into an audition. So
Okay.
I got good at math and loves
Ugh.
Pokemon.
Ugh.
No, and like good student. I don't know.
No, I
Those stuck out
hate
to me, but you know what I
this.
mean. So it's like
Yeah, yeah,
obviously
yeah.
there's that. But hey, I am good at math, and I I like Pokemon.
I
I'm not like deep into it, but
I hate this for you. I hate that so
it's okay.
much.
There are probably some other better, more conscientious guesses, but
Because it's
sometimes
also
those don't
like
stick
it's not
around.
even like the people who said that. I don't even think that they're bad people. I just think that they're boring people. Do you know what I mean?
Sure, sure,
Like how
sure. Yes,
fucking
when we
unimaginative, especially if you're an actor, how unimaginative do you have to be to look at an Asian person and be like, "Let me guess, are you good at math?" It's like, can you come up with literally anything else? You fucking idiot.
sure, yes, it is. It's true. We'll be more creative, and that's why Adam and Joel, you
Keep us on our
voted
toes.
blue.
Yeah.
John Ossoff for 2026.
No idea. No idea.
Well, I don't know, whatever the midterms are. Okay, great. Um, All right. So back in here, we got okay. Oh God. Obviously, Kevin and Trey, we got to talk about them.
Oh,
And
I
we got to talk
forgot.
about them. They're on my team, so much love. But the pasta, it started and ended with the pasta.
Can I just say, I went back and I listened to our draft episode, and Iffy literally said, these two are giving eliminated in the first episode energy.
Oh no, he did. I did not realize that. He was right. He was right. I'm so surprised because they beat out the firefighters. I thought
I
for sure they were pretty
know.
damn good. I mean, they were trying something a little hard, so that was, but they were both like confident at the end too. Like Kevin was like, I mean, this is pretty good. This would probably be this in the middle, but maybe the top.
I
And I'm like,
that to
oh,
me did not read as confidence. That read to me as like when you're convincing yourself it's not that bad. Do
oh,
you know what I
sure.
mean?
He's a little bit on the panic there. Fair
Yeah, yeah,
enough. Fair
yeah. Where
enough.
it's just like
Yeah,
it's that
not a good
who
reading.
knows? Maybe we could even win. You never know.
Oh God, just manic at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah. So even when Tiffany was like checking out the pasta and a little thin, oh, I would do it again. Like it was all so
Yeah.
chaotic
It was
from the
also like,
point.
I don't know how realistic or fair the edit was being, but the version that was presented to us, Trey was really working the fuck out of that pasta for the whole 60 minutes. I was like, bro,
Yeah,
I mean,
let's
I'm
calm
not
down.
saying like I'm an expert pasta maker, but like, shouldn't the national average time for making pasta not be 60 minutes? At what point do you give up and start? He kept being like, it's too
Right.
late to start over. I can't start over. I'm like, I'm pretty sure you can.
Oh no. Yeah. It's just, you got to learn to pivot in those moments that they didn't really have that. I mean, this kind of comes back to our guest that they don't know each other. They do not know each other. They've been paired together on the opposite
Yeah.
side of the globe and they're panicking.
I think there's also that
Um,
element that you were bringing up, which is like first episode jitters. I like
yeah,
anyone in any situation or of any skill level, I could see like
sure.
you're on national television, it's the first episode, and you just get tripped up on one small task. But it is painful to watch, just to be like,
Yeah.
you're really still working this pasta, huh?
Yeah, I mean, like everybody is kind of like they screwed up the most, but like a lot of people screwed up a lot. So whoever
Yeah,
also screwed up was lucky that Kevin and Trey
yeah,
were there
yeah.
to not be buddies. So yeah, we'll see. I think we'll get into a little bit more of the reaction to everybody's dishes, but just going over a couple other things here. Um, yeah, I guess just the fact that everybody was kind of like, well, Kate and Tana
Tana,
and
yeah,
Kate,
yeah, yeah.
yeah, their relationship is a little strange, right? Like there's some strain there. Um, I do feel like it was like I wasn't sure where the tears were coming from. We actually don't have points for crying in MasterChef because honestly, like everybody cries every
Everybody
episode.
cries.
So I think
Yeah.
that's definitely good. But yeah, having seen Kate kind of cry, it was like, oh, is she like being mean to her? I don't know. There was a lot of
Yeah, I got that vibe. I got that
uneasiness.
vibe that like when the cameras turned around on someone else, they were like side swiping each other. You know what I mean? Like there was a little bit of like, there's a little bit more interpersonal drama there than I think would have been good for
Yeah.
television.
Actually, Value wrote that it's kind of like being at a sleepover. Oh, when you see your friend get yelled at by their parents, which is so true. Or like
It
honestly, yeah.
it feels like I'm seeing something I'm not supposed to, you
Right.
know?
You're like, oh, I'll look away.
It feels
You guys
it
aren't
like it
home.
feels too private.
Yeah, yeah, this was a
Yeah,
private moment. I was
that's
not
the
supposed to be here for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, right. It's like, oh, you guys know you're not home right now. It's on TV. I mean, I felt that way when we would have a lot of dads would coach basketball, right? And
Mm-hmm.
like probably more times than not be extra hard on their daughters.
Right,
And that
right.
was always like a little like, oh, I don't know if this is just the coach stuff or this is some just
Yeah.
being like, so yeah, witnessed a lot of that on the court. Okay. Yeah. So, everybody kind of had their struggles. We're not sure what's going on yet, but overall, we'll look at these tops, these
Look at
closer
these
looks. Let's look
tops.
at these tops. Getting into the groove of MasterChef again. So, of course, the first called up is Yvonne and Tina.
Yeah, not
They did
surprised. Thank you
their
so much. I called it.
yeah, very well chosen. They were great. Also, good personality for TV, Yvonne. They did buntet wong with vermicelli noodles, lemon.
Oh,
I
going
don't
for the
know. Is that good?
pronunciation. Great job.
I honestly don't think that's right, but I do my best. Lemongrass pork, pickled daikon, and carrots, and garlic vinaigrette. I mean, this is something that I feel like I've ordered a million times. It's so good. It's just that sort of like mix of the salad and the pork and then the vinaigrette, which is, I guess it's a vinaigrette. Yeah.
Yeah.
They really liked it. They said high caliber noodles. I feel like it was overall successful. I think Gordon just wanted a little more pork, but
Sure. Who doesn't?
exactly. But yeah, it did
Let
feel like
he
something
who
that they
does
had
not
made
want more
before.
pork cast the first stone. I'm so sorry that I cut you off for that. That was a stupid line.
No,
This is the
no,
problem with Zoom recording is I just charge ahead with a dumb line.
I'm sad I didn't get to hear it, but we'll
It's
run it
bad.
back. I'll
Okay, great.
re-listen to our episode. Okay, Michelle and Zach were next. They did mole frites with mussels, green curry broth, fries dusted with nori and lime. The fries looked really good.
The whole
Kind
thing
of
sounded
special.
delicious. Yeah.
Yeah. Joe calls it kind of perfect. Yeah, people they really loved it. I think I picked Michelle and Zach. They were like the first ones to come out during the auditions, and they seemed pretty like down the middle. But
Mm-hmm.
because they were first and because they seemed like pretty good, I figured it would be good. I think they have a kid too, so it's like maybe they'll dedicate some stuff to their kid. The kid
I'm
is
going to double
alive,
down
but...
on what I said during their draft, which is the costume designers are dressing them far too young.
Oh, right. I
Zach was
didn't
wearing
catch it
like
again, but yeah, maybe.
joggers, and Michelle was wearing like wide Gen Z jeans. It was
Oh,
just like
sure.
it's it's a real like mom and dad, why are you dressing like that kind of thing,
Oh,
And I'm not saying
Zach
they
and
don't look good. They
Michelle.
look good, but I'm like,
Uh-huh.
why are they making them dress like that?
Who knows? Yeah, I mean, what do we think it is? It's probably they do bring their own wardrobe, right? Because they wouldn't be
Yeah, we've talked to
dressing
other
anybody.
contestants about this on our
They
bonus
bring a big
content, which
ol'
is available at maximumfun.org for members.
Woo.
Yeah. You bring some semblance of your own wardrobe. I maybe they just enjoy dressing this way, and that's okay.
Sure. I mean, you can only pack so much on your carry-on to Melbourne.
Or maybe they are super young. They haven't said their ages. Maybe they're like 22. I don't know.
Whoa. But they do have a kid,
They have a
which
kid.
so
You can have a 1-year-old at
you can
22.
have a kid. Yeah, you can have a kid at any time. No, that's not true. But yes, so who knows how old they are? We'll look it up. And then of course, Adam and Joel are Southern brothers. They did their skirt steak tacos, corn tortillas, which Val, you said corn tortillas, they said, but they did look like flour tortillas. I agree.
They looked like it,
It
yeah.
was definitely not corn, but okay. Well, whatever.
Unless it was like a white corn that they just charred the shit out of. I don't know.
Right. Yeah, who knows? But we'll find out. Green tomato salsa, peach habanero hot sauce, charro beans. It looked good. Like, I think, oh yeah, Tiffany was impressed with them. So that's a good sign as a Texan. It looked decent. I think I worried about it a little bit because I think, we're always like Mexican food from the South can be, is that their specialty? I mean, it's close enough. So who knows?
I
But
did not expect to miss Aaron Sanchez so soon this season, but this was really the one where I was
sure.
like, I got to know what
Could
he
have
thinks of this
provided.
taco.
Yeah. He would have been able to tell us how to say taco so smoothly in a sentence. That's true. I forgot about that. We miss Aaron a little bit for sure. I think Tiffany's definitely like, how do you think Tiffany was faring in this episode? I feel like she brought a whole new persona, a little bit more energy.
Great. Amazing.
Yeah.
She is a real jolt of energy that the show needed, especially knowing now that we're not in America. But I love her. It was great.
Yes, perfect. And we find out the winner is Michelle and Zach. Yay for their
the
muscles.
one team on top that I did not have. I have Tina and Yvonne and Adam and Joel, but not Zach.
Yeah, you're faring just well, but yes, Michelle and Zach pulled through. Now in the bottom, of course, we have Kevin and Trey. Ugh. They did their Cajun seafood pasta with shrimp, scallops, and mussels. I mean,
and the
basically,
mussels didn't even open. You watch other cooking shows and they're always like, you pick mussels because they cook quickly. And I'm like, you guys had an hour. What did you put in the mussels at minute 58? What happened?
I'm sure it was just like one of them, but also, I mean, wasn't the seafood Kevin and he was doing a fine, like he was totally not struggling compared to Trey's pasta. Yeah. So that's not great. So Gordon called that a death sentence, which is pretty funny and dramatic. It's like, at least I do love that about mussels though, that they just like don't open if they're not cooked. It's like, oh my God, thanks for saving my life. Then like
telltale sign. Yeah.
Yeah. Can like oysters, when they're like going to make you
sick.
Can
oysters do that? Step it up, oysters.
Yeah. Well, shell mollusk thing. Get next to your brother's like Step up like muscles. Okay. Pasta. The pasta was the main issue. I guess we kind of saw that coming. It clearly was not looking good. And Joe says no real teamwork. Well, I wonder why. They don't know each other.
They simply don't know each other.
They simply are absolutely brand new.
They met
okay.
once. They met once, like when you read like a Facebook post about like this stranger recognized this other stranger having a heart attack, and he took them to the hospital, and now they see each other once a year at Thanksgiving. You know what I mean?
Sure. They give each other a firm handshake.
Right.
Once a year. Yeah, so it was a little, it's like a feel-good friendship that maybe doesn't exist. Okay, next is Darcy and Courtney. They're the vegans. They did their corn pappardelle pasta, corn sauce, corn ribs, corn bread crumbs, corn 4 ways, they described it as.
I was kind of surprised this is on the bottom. Now, look, it's hard to tell. Okay, first of all, we didn't have a lot of confidence in a vegan team to begin with. But once they said corn 4 ways, I'm like, that's a pretty smart play. And it looked good to my eyeballs. And I'm sure that, they're on the bottom for a reason, or they're on the bottom for story purposes. But let's give the producers the benefit of the doubt. Let's say it just tasted bad. I was like surprised it tasted bad because like corn 4 ways in a pasta dish sounds good to me. I would order that at a restaurant,
Yeah, I mean, I think they were definitely not the bottom of the bottom. I think they were the top of the bottom.
Yeah.
Just looking at also because it's Tana and Kate next. I think also so it might have just been that and the fact that, what did they say? He says concept is really unfocused, so maybe it was too all over the place. It didn't feel like a dinner party, and they have the disadvantage of having to not work with meat. So maybe didn't feel
eggs.
like it had a
They're making pasta
thing.
and it's like, and eggs,
They're like, did you put eggs in this? No,
never.
How dare you? Yeah, fair. True vegans. And next was Tana and Kate, of course, with their cheeseburger, bacon date jam, spicy mayo, fries, and arugula salad.
I feel so. I'm like, have you guys had a burger? Did you feel that way? I was like, their bacon date jam, which they were like is a centerpiece, looked of a consistency that is simply not for topping a burger. Do you know what I mean? It had the consistency of like lard, and I was like, that's far too thick. And then the burger itself was thick. And so when you have a thick burger, like you're going to worry about the cooking temperature. I was like, I was really disappointed.
Actually, that just jogs my memory. I think on Smartless, they talked about the smash burger and how it's the perfect thing, right? Because it's easy to eat. And this was, a little thick for, cheeseburgers can be thick, but I think
there's validity to a thick burger. Because I'll say, even for smash burgers, not everyone does them correctly, even here in Southern California, you know what I mean? But I'm just like, so I love like a thick steakhouse burger, but it looked so not correct to me.
They were panicking the whole time about the cook. They said it was going to be medium rare, and then it was a little overcooked, but it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be completely brown.
I agree.
And they were like, "Ooh, this is more medium." It's like, well, it's close, but yeah. And then, I think Gordon just didn't really like the whole idea of making a cheeseburger for this, because it was like, okay, they're doing this. He said right away, how are they going to elevate it? And the only elevation was maybe this bacon date jam.
Well, so this is where I'll fight back against the judges a little bit, because it was like, this is what we were talking about. Everyone had a different idea of what dinner party is. And I'm like, okay, yeah, you could make the argument that a burger's not elevated. Why would you make this at a dinner party? You're on a cooking competition show. But then I'm like, but one of the top teams made tacos. To me, that's like in the exact same category. And they're not elevated tacos. They made a bunch of salsas. Cool, sure. But like, they made a bacon date jam,
Yeah, interesting. That could be argued that way for sure. Yeah, interesting. Because they did at least put it on a plate. I don't know. It's not on a paper plate. Yeah, it's not off the grill outside. Yeah. But yes, I guess still wasn't good enough. Gordon said, "I can get better burgers in a drive-through." Whoa, ouch.
I mean, kind of an unfair comparison. Drive-through burgers are superior burgers.
I mean, yeah, I mean, In-N-Out, I'll go any day. But yes, also, the other funny Gordon quote that I wrote down for this episode was when Kayla explained, when Ryan Kate. Okay. I have a friend named KT Ryan.
Oh no.
And so now this is going to be very confusing. But yes, Ryan Kate said that Kayla had to go to ER to get stitches, and Gordon's reaction was, right, damn. Very matter of fact. He gets stitches every other day. He doesn't care.
Yeah. He's tough.
Get back in the kitchen. So anyway, as we know, eliminated this episode was Kevin and Trey. Oh, such a bummer.
What a bummer.
It's
a bummer insofar as I really wanted to see more of them on camera.
Yeah.
I really wanted to see them talk about all the good times they've had.
Right. I wanted to see the episode where it's like, make the dish about when you guys met.
Yes.
Or,
exactly.
the dish that you guys always eat every time you see each other all the time. Yeah, so they'll remain a mystery. They'll always be
unless we can get them on this show. Kevin and Trey, if you're listening, or if one of your friends is listening and you want to come on this show and clear the record and tell us about your relationship, I would love to be proven wrong. I would love for you guys to pull out a photo album and be like, here's when we vacationed together. Here's us at the brewery last week. I want to see that friendship. Please come on our show.
Definitely. Oh, we've already been proven wrong once by Adam and Joel. That they are also their own people who have a deep, rich tapestry of internal history.
Yeah.
And, don't judge a book by the cover or whatever. So Kevin and Trey, same to you. Come prove yourself in MasterChef court, TV Chef Fantasy League court. But so getting back into MasterChef, I would say, I don't know, what were your thoughts on this first episode back, dipping our toes back in the water?
I had a lot of fun. It's I feel like I don't know, mentally it feels like there is some getting used to with duos. It feels unwieldy. It simultaneously feels unwieldy to have 24 people in the kitchen, and also somehow it feels very sparse because I think the MasterChef Australia kitchen is bigger. Like, I felt like there was a huge gap between the judges table and the first cooking station. I was like, this is just like a bigger set. But yeah, 24 people. It's just like, it's a lot of story to track. There's still some people where I'm like, gosh, what are their names? Julio and his wife's name, where I'm like, I didn't get a lot out of them from the audition. I'm still not getting a lot out of them.
Yeah,
I don't know
they don't
what
get
their
anything.
deal is at all. Yeah.
Yeah, they're really falling through the cracks here. They better get some more
I don't think they even mentioned what dish they were making.
Oh.
They're just also there.
Forgettable they are. Oh no. Yeah. I mean, they got like half of the, the audition. It was like, okay, now rapid fire. They were in that portion of the audition. So yeah, they haven't gotten a ton, but I mean, they didn't get eliminated. So I guess they're still in.
I do also feel like this is like sort of, when you have shows that have this big of a contestant pool, this always happens in the first few episodes too, where you're just like, well, I'm simply not going to get to know some of these people before they get eliminated.
Yeah, definitely. It's surprisingly, it does feel like as I'm writing notes and, everybody has their pair and everything. It surprisingly feels like not that many people, but actually I think it's just because they skip over a lot. And then some people I might be conflating or whatever, but it's all, it is kind of funny to have the double name situation for every contestant here,
Yeah. I am excited for the preview for next week. I don't know if you're going to talk about this. Sorry to jump ahead.
Oh yeah. No, we can. First mystery box.
And they immediately showed what we all knew was the story beat we all knew was coming, which is Darcy and Courtney being like, I can't believe I have to cook a steak.
Okay, yes. Finally, yeah, they're going to select the most bloodiest protein for them. Because I guess that's part of the reward. Michelle and Zach get to choose each duo's protein. But yes, I mean, they'll definitely get some points there. So I believe who has them? Do you have them, or does Iffy have them?
Yes, no, I have them because I was saddled with them at the very end.
Right. So you should get some points from that, as far as like cooking with something they never cooked before or allergic to.
Points, did you, I have not, but have you stewed on any new rules for this season as commissioner?
Oh, I figured I looked them over. Honestly, everything seemed pretty good, because the only thing I was like, we're missing the crying, but we can't do that for MasterChef. I think
everyone cries.
It'll be really hard, because I think even as when Kevin and Trey were leaving, like everybody was like wiping their eye on the way out, and I was like, that would be tough. So I couldn't really think of anything, and everything we have, and I'll kind of spell them out a little bit here since this is our first episode in. Right. Obviously, we've got winning the challenge. You get a point, half a point for closer look dishes, which is those kind of top 3. It doesn't apply if all dishes get a closer look.
Which is later in the season when there's like 5 contestants left and they're like, we're going to taste all 5 dishes.
And then we might as well just not. Yeah. That makes sense. And then making it to the finale, 2 points, 3 points if you're America's Next Master Chefs. You get a point for becoming team captain once they split into teams if they do that this season.
Yeah, I don't know if they're going to do team captains. I mean, a team challenge is just like it's a staple of this show, but how do you do 2 team captains? Is like co-captains, you know what I mean? Or do they pick one team and make them fight against each other? Who knows?
Right. I could see them picking a whole team into those 2 are the leads, and then between the 2 of them, they could kind of suss out who's going to be taking the most lead,
Right.
or maybe they do just, select one. We'll see. And then half a point for cooking something you're allergic to, which I think we could add that to the vegan, whatever, or use something you don't eat. 1 point for we make this all the time and landing on top. -1 point if it's we make this all the time and landing in the bottom. Half a point for we're from blank and we don't have blank, like an ingredient, or we've never made this dish before, or we don't cook this a lot. Oh, I see. That actually might be the vegan one then. And then half a point for we're doing this for our kids, family, etc. A lot of why I chose Zach and Michelle because they have a kid, or this dish is inspired by our mom, grandma, etc. Extra half a point if that person is deceased. Got to have that in there. Half a point if we're huge fans of past season winner guest judge. So we'll see if people come out who decides to fly out all the way to Australia.
Yeah, I don't even know. How can maybe that's a rule that we eliminate for next season, because it's like if it's just going to keep being in Australia, how many guest judges are they going to get on the show?
Yeah, that's true.
And it happens once a season. It's like, okay, one person the whole season is going to get that point. Is it really worth having there?
Sure. Yeah, that one I don't think we got. Well, maybe we did last for like the Nick guy or whatever. And then half a point for he's going so fast up there for a cooking demonstration. Gordon Ramsay. And then -1 if Gordon throws your protein, of course. Applies to chef on protein station at time of throwing. Thank you for the clarification. And then +2 if Gordon pays for your culinary tuition, or one of the judges invites you to cook at their restaurant, which did not happen last season, but
it happened on Next Level Chef, which we did not cover on our podcast because it happened at the same time as Top Chef. I don't know if it's going to happen this season, because how do you, first of all, Kayla and Ryan Kate. I was going to say there aren't any young people who are like of culinary school age, but maybe Kayla and Ryan Kate. But it's also like, how do you say like, I'd like the 2 of you to come work at my restaurant? You know what I mean?
Right. That'll be more challenging with dynamic duos. That's true. Do they have that many spots? Yeah.
Right.
Or does he just pick one?
This is also a good time to remind our audience that we recently did Max Fun Drive, where we got a bunch of new members, and one of our promised little things that we did for getting a certain amount of new members was letting one lucky member submit a rule for our next season. So that'll be Great British Bake Off, and we'll do that at some point. But if you want to get in on cool things that we do for our members like that, MaximumFun.org/join. You can join for as little as $5 a month. And then, we get to do stuff like draw one random member to submit a new rule for Great British Bake Off, which is exciting.
Yeah, hell yeah. I mean, of course, okay, yeah. And also, so if you're hearing us list these rules and you're like, they're missing stuff, and you're a Great British Bake Off fan, then that's for you. Also, we did send out an email to our members to help us figure out a punishment for the loser of this fantasy league. Very exciting. It'll be the first time we introduce a punishment. And so far, we've had over 100 responses, 101 responses. Current poll results are tied between loser must make a meal for a professional chef and be subjected to actual critique. Or the other, what's tied with that is loser must attempt to make and eat Gordon Ramsay's beef Wellington. Hell yeah. We just discussed that. We know that's
very
a signature
nervous
dish. Both of those things are tough.
Really, adding a punishment is something that, we haven't had wherewithal to do for the last year that we've done this podcast, but it really ups the stakes in a way where I really don't want to lose now. And now I'm really counting on Tina and Yvonne or Adam and Joel to take me all the way.
Yeah, we'll and also poll closes Monday, June 23rd at 12 p.m. Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern. So make sure you vote in that if you are a member, right? And also, if you're not a member, sign up, as we'll discuss. Okay, so let's get to the points breakdown.
I was just going to say, if you are a member, it should be in your email inbox. We did already send that out, so check your email, check your spam folder, your promotions folder, and poll closes Monday.
Awesome. Let's get to this points breakdown to see who is gonna
Here we
be
go,
punished.
baby. Starting out strong.
Yes, definitely. So we had the closer looks this time. We had Yvonne and Tina, Zach and Michelle, Adam and Joel. That's all half a point for each of those teams. The winner ended up being Zach and Michelle. They get a point. And because all three of those tops did do the all, we cook this all the time kind of thing as we ruled. So Yvonne and Tina, Zach and Michelle, Adam and Joel all get a point. And also I would say the ones on the bottom didn't really say that. So I didn't subtract a point from them. So this week, Iffy, good thing he's not here, he has 0 points.
Okay.
Did not get any, but that's okay because it's still early. I got 2.5 points. Okay. And Mike, you have 3 points. Pretty exciting.
Yes. Love starting out of the gate strong.
Yeah, it's looking like maybe no beef Wellington or critiqued meal this time around, but we'll see. The night is still young. Also, as we discussed next week, they're going to do mystery box. There's spicy, there's chocolate, or there's sweet and spicy or something's going on. So can't wait to watch that. All right. Well, this has been the first episode back into MasterChef. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you, Mike.
My pleasure. Pleasure to be here.
Appreciate it. And hopefully, Iffy will be back next week, and we might still be remote, but maybe we won't. Who knows?
We'll see.
Keep it exciting. Keep you guessing. All right. Thank you. If you like this podcast, share it with someone, but also please go to MaximumFun.org/join, where you can support us for as little as $5 a month. It really helps us out. It keeps us going. You get the cool emails for the polls. You get to vote on our punishment. You get to do all the things that, we only ask of our members. If you have any thoughts or suggestions, drop us a line on Instagram at TV Chef Fantasy League and follow us, or send us an email at chef@MaximumFun.org. If you're doing your own MasterChef Fantasy League with friends, please tag us and tell us how you're doing. For full unedited episodes, you can check us out on YouTube. Thanks again to my co-host, Mike Cabalon and Iffy Wadiwe. We'll be back next week. TV Chef Fantasy League is a Maximum Fun production. Our producer is Valerie Moffat. Our engineer is Gabe Mara. Our theme song is by Dylan Van Auken. Our artwork is by Sabrina Volante. Follow us on Instagram and YouTube at TV Chef Fantasy League.